babies.
I was distracted by the bullshit Celtics take.
What do you mean the Celtics? They're second in the East now because the fucking Bucks are at first. Read a book, idiot.
They're a half game behind. You didn't mention the fact that they just beat Stop modulating your mic. Either turn your mic down or get your fucking mouth off it like you're straddling Bill's cock with your lips. They just beat the Cavs, who they haven't beat all year. It was a tough game. Tatum went out and dropped 41. He was 2 rebounds or assists away from a triple-double. They responded to a bad game against the Knicks. They don't play that Knicks team very well. There are a couple teams in the East that they don't play very well. It happens to every NBA team that goes through the regular season. Look at the Warriors, who are currently in, 8th, who are 4-time NBA champions. Get a fucking grip, Mario. Take a look at what the fuck is actually happening and report on it on your headlines. Don't just cherry pick your stupid fucking thoughts.
Are they not second in the East right now?
They're second in the East because Milwaukee rattled off 16 games. It's a game of runs, basketball is. It's a game of runs.
I just said that in the headlines.
Let me ask you something. Did you talk about the Cavs win that happened after they lost to the Knicks?
No. This has been Headlines with the...
This is your top 5 segment, top 5 concerns for the Celtics. Apparently, Ray has several. I have my 5 that we will run through, and my 5 are permanent, and they are distinct, and you shall not sway from them. So we will start with number 1. The number 1 concern for the Celtics is injury.
Agreed.
Very boring, but that's what it is. Time Lord. Robert Williams has a long history, obviously, of not being able to stay healthy. You've got Al Horford, who is our age out there. Limit his minutes. If not an injury for Al, then just fatigue is what I would be worried about. Malcolm Brogdon has never played a full season and is an extremely important piece to your team. And Jaylen Brown, sneaky, also never plays a full season. Always has some kind of hamstring or something, a knee or an shoulder or a wrist. Right now he has a broken face, which didn't seem to hurt him at the All-Star game, but the regular season seems to be a different story. So injury is your number 1 concern for the Celtics. Kind of a bland one, but Bobby, your take on that.
Yeah, it's the number 1 concern for any team, especially basketball teams. By the time you get to the playoffs, you're an 8-man rotation, and if you lose 1.5 of those players, where one injury and one can't play anymore, or play very well, you're not the same team. So that's always going to be number 1.
Yep, very well. Okay, number 2, a little more meat on the bone here. Championship medal. Do they have it? Have they built it? Have they earned it? They still do not have anybody on this roster who's won an NBA championship. They don't have anybody 1 through 15 who has gone through the whole rigor of a regular season, the playoffs, and actually walked away with a ring. Does that matter? Yes. Jason Tatum has been to 5 Eastern Conference Finals. He's been to an NBA championship. He's dominated a Game 6 in Milwaukee. He's lost an NBA championship in Game 6. Do you think that they've built up enough of that experience where they can break through this year with what I would consider championship medal?
Yeah, they have enough experience. They've been through enough. They've been able to do it. I know they don't have the medal, but I think some of the other thing, I think number 3 and 4, I think they have enough experience. I think 3 and 4 are more part of what's going to help them or hurt them from not winning a title.
So it's just not experience for championship medal. I'm talking about, though. Like, you obviously need the experience, but you need to build up that Teflon, that willingness to be able to.
Tatum's ability to close and Mazzulla's ability to coach within the championship medal part.
Okay, Ray, we'll get to that. Ray, your opinion on the championship medal version. Like, basically, do they have enough balls? Do they have enough gumption in them to get through it?
I don't think they do. They're very fragile. This is a very fragile team, mentally wise. I mean, Jason Tatum, as you've seen, he is very mentally fragile when it comes to getting the calls or things not going his way. He kind of shuts down a little bit, not to the point where it's hurting the team, but if it's not going his way or they're getting, a big run against him, you kind of see him shut down. He's not the big leader that we need. And I mean, Jaylen Brown is not Jason Tatum, so he can't lead this team. So if Jason Tatum is the one being, not going, not all in 100% because of, things aren't going his way, I think that's going to hurt this team.
Yeah, I think Bobby's right. It relies a lot on, well, you're right too, Ray, but
yes.
Number 3 on this list in terms of top 5 is Jason Tatum, and number 2 and number 3 go pretty close to hand in hand. However, I think they're like the Malcolm Brogdons of the world, Derek White, even Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown. These guys have championship medal in them. They don't have the skill set to take you over the top to win. So they have a grittiness to them. They have a competitor in them. Like, I think there's enough of that on this team to perhaps even surpass Jason Tatum's dookiness, which there is. It's a shrinking dookie, but it still stinks. It's still there. In the wrong moments, in the wrong time frame, down 1 to 3 points with 2 minutes left, I don't want the ball in Jason Tatum's hands making decisions. That's your dookiness for Jason Tatum. That's your number 3 concern for the Celtics. Now, if they do what they did against the Sixers the other night and allow somebody else to make a play for him and give him the ball where he just has to not think and shoot, I like that. But give him the ball with 17 seconds, dribble up the court, take on a double team, take on a triple team, have to make the right decision. He doesn't have it yet. He doesn't have it yet. So that would be my concern with Jason Tatum. And he and Jaylen have gotten better in all of these categories every single year of their career. The kid turns 25 like today. So he's got a ton of room to grow, but he doesn't make that leap between now and June. So you need to give the ball to a Brogdon or a White or a Smart to make a play, for the team to make a play for him to make the shot at this point in time. And if you don't, then Tatum is high on the list for concern for me.
It's got to get schemed. It's Missoula. I mean,
which is number 4. Go ahead, Bobby. Number 4 on the list is coaching.
All those things being true, he has to set it up in a manner so that way that isn't a problem, and that it takes it off Tatum, and then it encompasses the strengths that they do have.
Yeah. And what a question mark that is.
Yeah.
We've never seen him do it. Like, he's 34.
They're already falling off. Like, have they been figured out? We've discussed multiple times. They play the same way. They're not trying to change. So, and now they're already falling down. You see, the Bucks are peaking. I don't know if you want to peak in March. That's maybe March 1st. That's not really when you want to peak. But I mean, you never really want to dip. But it kind of seems like they've been figured out a little bit. Teams playing them a certain way. Maybe they're just, teams get bored, in February, March, and then maybe towards the end of March, April, they'll start to pick it up for when they need to in May.
Yeah, look, the Celtics, you saw in the Knicks game, they shot 20-something% from 3. The old cliche, you live and die by the 3.
Or they 9 for 40 or 9 for 30.
Yeah, something horrific, but they had a ton of open looks. It's not like they were taking bad shots. They just couldn't shoot.
Night. Yeah, they just had a bad night.
Which is their game, right? In a 7-game series, they should be good enough in those categories to just win outright if they just keep playing their game and keep shooting to their ability. But this is what the nerds don't ever take into account. And this is what we saw last year in the NBA Finals. Come game 4, crunch time, Marcus Smart loses his goddamn mind and throws the ball away 2 possessions in a row, and you give up your lead. Boom. All your confidence is shot. All your momentum is shot. And now you walk into the next 2 games and you lose the NBA Finals because you don't play the same way you're supposed to.
Now, can I ask you a question real quick? Because we're on Joe Mazzulla. Do you think he does the same thing with Marcus Smart that Ime did last year? Like, remember in the playoffs, Marcus Smart was playing like shit, and then Ime just sat him in the fourth quarter, pretty much because, he wasn't helping the team out. Do you think Joe Mazzulla has that kind of control on this roster to be able to be like, hey, Marcus, go take a seat because you're not playing well?
It's harder to see, except for the fact that he missed pretty significant time, and Derek White is playing basically at an all-star level, and you have a former number one option in Malcolm Brogdon that is sitting there behind him. And then I heard this stat on the radio, or these stats on the radio. Marcus Smart is trailing Derek White and Brogdon in every single statistical category there is for their point guards. So points, rebounds, steals, assists, blocks, like Marcus Smart's third in all of them.
But do they have the captain? Do they have the C on their chest?
Is it the heart? Are they the heart and soul of the team?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I will tell you this for Marcus Smart, and you know how much I've said trade him for years. When he's on the court, Jalen and Jason play a different way. They play a little bit with some more confidence. So whatever you want to say to that. Yeah. Number four on the list, Joe Mazzulla, coaching. Do they have enough feel for the game, enough gumption to make the right calls with their all-stars and their stars? Do they have enough basketball intelligence to make corrections? That's one thing that I don't think did last year in the finals. They didn't make any fucking corrections or adjustments. You know, you don't hear about it a lot in basketball, but when you get to that level, when you get to conference finals and in NBA finals,
each game
the best coaches make adjustments within the game. They change their plays a little bit here and there. And
there's no real adjustment.
They change players, they change rotations, they change everything. Right. In a real basketball series, game 3 doesn't look anything like game 4.
Right.
Different players play. It's a totally different thing. And I worry about, if we're watching the way Mazzulla coaches the Celtics, I mean, he doesn't call timeouts. He lets them play. It's rec league basketball. All they do is shoot threes. They don't particularly play much defense.
Rec league or church league?
I would say rec league, because in church league we D'd up, Ray. Okay. That was 3-on-3.
The three amigos, man.
It was half court. Okay.
CBL, baby. 8-foot hoops.
Yeah. I
Murder
got
what?
the jersey.
Spent a lot of time in those jerseys.
Yeah.
Next week we should wear the jerseys.
Sure. Which one? The CLB 1, 2, or 3?
Mine won't fit.
Oh, poor Ray. Okay, and finally, number 5 in our top 5 for concerns for the Celtics. Celtics concerns. Number 5 is easy. Everyone should have seen this one coming. Kyrie Irving.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Well, everybody has to keep their eye on the goal. They have to understand who they're dealing with and always be aware of the biggest cunt in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at any point, he could message them and put some dumbass idea in their head.
Like the Earth's flat?
Any idea.
That third eye is blinking. Watch out, Tatum.
It's like just whatever new YouTube video comes out, he'll see and be like, oh, boy.
Oh, I saw a good one. I saw a good one today. I should have sent it to you guys. There was a tinfoil hat that the Challenger astronauts are still alive.
Ooh, I saw that one.
You see that one? And there's like 3 of them where the actual same name and they look exactly the same age.
Yeah.
That could fuck you up in the NBA Finals. That's rattling around in my head.
Like when you're taking a shit, you're just looking at the window and you're like, wow.
Yeah, you run me off a screen for 3 and, with 3 minutes left, and I think, oh, fuck, maybe he is alive in that brick,
Do you think when Kyrie plays the Heat, he asks Jimmy Butler if Jordan's his dad?
Yep. That's a conspiracy theory. You got to ask.
That's disrespectful. No way I don't know if Kyrie goes to that level. He's definitely his dad.
He has to be. It's so compelling.
Let's take.
Rumor has it. No, wait. How much pussy was MJ fucking hitting back in the day?
How many kids?
All of it.
Yeah, exactly. He has so many illegitimate kids out there.
Exactly. I just want it,
and we know he doesn't miss. So just,
I want it to be true. I want it to be true.
I like how Jordan's son's banging Pippen's ex-wife now. That's awesome.
Okay, well, we've gone off the rails. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with our special guest, the Pitch Clock Cuck. Right back.